Welcome back, everybody, to the Now Morning Show here on TTT, also on Talk City 91.1 FM and on Facebook at TTT Live Online. Well, Habitat for Humanity of Trinidad and Tobago is doing a lot of work when it comes to getting people prepared for disasters in Trinidad and Tobago, and their focus right now is on disability organizations, disability schools. With me this morning, Jennifer Messiah. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you.
How are you this morning?
Well, excellent. I hear everybody congratulating you about your look, so I guess I need to start by doing that.
I think you should too. I think you should too. I already like you very, very much. I already like you. Habitat for Humanity, Trinidad and Tobago, what is happening?
First of all, it's really an honor to be here this morning.
It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you. And Habitat for Humanity has been around since 1997 in Trinidad and Tobago, but worldwide we've been around since 1976. The general vision of Habitat is to create a world where everyone has a decent place to sleep. So it's about giving people housing access, not just building a house, but access in terms of all kinds of information and capacity building sessions. Our particular focus today is Habitat's contribution to the Sustainable Development Goals, in particular goal number 1, which talks about no poverty, goal number 6, which talks about clean water and sanitation, goal number 3, good health and well-being. Goal number 10, which speaks about reduced inequalities. Goal number 11, which is closest to our hearts, sustainable cities and communities. Goal number 13, it speaks about climate change and climate action. And goal number 17, which speaks about partnership for getting these goals on the ground and into our communities. What we want to do particularly is to advocate for those special needs schools and special needs people in our community. I see we were able to have some unique friends this morning. Right. And we want to share with them disaster preparedness, because we take for granted that if an earthquake should happen, God forbid, or a major, major disaster in Trinidad and Tobago, that we know what to do. The last earthquake had a number of persons panicking and not prepared, not even so, much less those who have special needs.
So what is the organization doing to help these people?
We want to focus particularly on making their homes prepared for disasters, how to treat with water, the actual collection, storage, and use of water, how to prepare our environment to have a safe environment, and how we support our communities for emergencies as well as people. So the presentation is about preparedness in general for everybody.
And there's an event coming up.
Well, the event is going into the schools if they would have us. So I'm hoping that some people are listening this morning and would invite us into their spaces, into their schools or communities to share the information that we have.
Because it's important for people. We're getting into the rainy season in a very short time.
Absolutely. That's our major concern.
And how would we go about addressing these concerns? Yes, you talk about teaching them how to make a home, but how do you really do that?
Well, it's preparing their homes. For example, even from the start, let's look at if they're preparing for construction. Many of them are not taking into consideration when you're building your roofs that you need to have hurricane straps. They think, oh, we need to deal with this.
God is a Trini. We hear that all the time.
Deal with it in the
pass
Philippines or Haiti, but not Trinidad. But we need to take good care of how we construct our homes. Our homes need to be resilient. That's the first place, because if a disaster should occur, you really want to have your home safe. You don't want to be running out into a community shelter. All right, so we have various techniques, various information we want to share to the builders on how you can build resilient houses, but then we want to share with our communities, because your house might have been built already and you want to know how you can retrofit it now, just in case it's not that sound.
And it's also good, you mentioned going into schools, for this to start with the young people.
Absolutely. So we want to share that information with the young people, how you too can prepare for disaster, or how you can help your parents, because we know sometimes children can actually make their parents do what they don't want to do. So if you give them the information and say, well, you need to have a go-to bag, which suggests that if a disaster happens, you have certain things well prepared, stocked in a corner, maybe in a haversack. We can teach our children and have the children go tell mom, dad, make sure.
Yeah, and you're preparing them for when they become parents as well.
That's right.
Water. So in recent time, you hear about this water shortage in Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, we're going to focus part of the mission here for Habitat for Humanity is to get people prepared for a disaster.
Right.
But right now we're seeing a problem with water. People need to know.
So let me talk
the
about
type
the
of
last
water.
flood in October, November of last year, because it's very recent in some of our folks' minds, especially people in Grandie and Orapun and so on. They were not prepared for the floods that we had. And what has happened is there were some vector-borne diseases that actually were the outcome of those floods. What Habitat wants to do is to make sure that we make our communities understand they need to keep their drains clean, how they dispose of their garbage. They need to start taking care now because we're expecting rains in June and onwards. How do you store water? We hear of the WASA going around sharing information, make sure you don't have containers with stagnant water. And it's the same information we want to share too. How do you store water? How you dispose of water?
So how do you store water?
Well, there are a number of techniques that Habitat want to share with the communities. I don't have all of them at my fingertips. But first of all, the containers must be clean and covered. First, basic. It's really basic information. Probably information
you say the
know.
word basic to describe the information, but yet people don't pay attention to it very often.
Absolutely. And then there's the purity tablets that you can actually throw in the water to keep it pure. As tiny little tablets can make the world of a difference between good health and not having good health.
And there is this expiry date on water? Is there an expiry date on water?
Actually, there is. Not sure of the exact timing, but there is an expiry date on water, so you can't keep water forever.
Right. So people better
So they have to learn. So we have experts that will be going out to share this information.
Right.
I am not the expert. I'm just sharing some information this morning.
Which is important. Which is important. Everybody have a role to play. So we talk about all of this, and I want to get back where we talk about people with special needs.
Yeah.
Because access for them during a disaster is important as well.
Right.
How do we...
So a simple thing that we're sharing with folks, give them a whistle.
A whistle.
A whistle. So let's say the roof cave in and you can't find them. They can't call. You know, they can blow the whistle. Give them a torchlight that they could flick. Those little gadgets can make the world of a difference. As we have found in other cases where Habitat exists, the whistle actually save a couple of lives. The interesting thing, however, is that if you give them the whistle before, because you never know when a disaster will occur, they can tend to be annoying, because I've heard another story where they were just whistling all the time, whistling to say, I need some ice cream, I need a cup of cappuccino. So, I mean, it can go on the flip side, but let's only think about the positive.
Yeah, it will definitely come in handy. And we've heard horror stories. We've heard many, many horror stories from around the world when it comes to these things.
With disasters. And so Habitat really wants to send the message, while we're still in May, that we need to be prepared for disasters. And we have lots of information. We're working in collaboration with ODPM. We're working in collaboration with the various regional corporations. If they would just call us, we would love to come and share information, both in terms of presentation, and we have print material so that they can make their houses and spaces more resilient.
Is there a Facebook page and a contact number for people to call if they need advice or
Absolutely.
they need assistance?
Habitat's number is 675-1222.
Facebook page? Habitat for Humanity Trinidad and Tobago?
Correct. And there is a website too.
What's the website?
www.habitat-tt.org.
For all of the information. Jennifer Messiah, National Director, Habitat for Humanity, Trinidad and Tobago, thank you very much for coming on and sharing this with us. I think we really need this information, and it will go a long way in educating the young people and everybody in Trinidad and Tobago about preparedness for disasters.
Thank you. So I trust that the people will definitely call us so that we can come and help them to make their communities safer.
Yes, I hope so. I hope that they call as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Jennifer Messiah, once again for coming on. We take a break and come back with more.